If you want to build an athletic muscular body with a relatively low body fat percentage through natural lifestyle practices and proven training methods, and you also want to maintain this in the long run, then this video is for you. Let's pump some iron. Of course, the aesthetic body may mean different things to different people, but the effective methods to achieve it are generally very common, simple and evergreen. Almost everyone should use the same principles, whether it's a man or woman, younger or older person, training at home or in the gym. It's just important to adapt this to your current state, your entry level and to your goals. Let's face it, a significant proportion of the people going in the gym or start exercising in the hope of getting in shape, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But why not to achieve this together with a healthier lifestyle and reaching some performance milestones as well. And the good news is that you don't even have to be 100% fanatic and training many hours every day in the gym, following a strict diet or starving yourself. All you need is to have a strong determination and a regular, consistent work. If you can fit in at least 2-3 workouts a week and you pay attention to the lifestyle factors, which I will talk about, you can reach spectacular results in a 6 months, 1 year period. In this video, I'm going to introduce an approach based on natural lifestyle principles and scientifically, empirically proven training methods to achieve your aesthetic dream physique. I will talk about nutrition, supplements, other lifestyle factors, and of course the effective body shaping workouts and exercises. Hi, my name is Mihály Sáfrán. I came from Hungary. For more than 20 years I was a professional athlete in the canoe sports, and the last 10 years I switched to a more generalist way of fitness and exercises. And in the last 8 years I'm also leading fitness classes and personal trainings. Personally, I've never been interested in bodybuilding purely for aesthetics. I was always more focusing on improving my performance in a specific sport or exercise. And in the last 10 years I also focus on the health and the generalist aspect of the fitness. I've never counted calories, I never starved myself, I was never training with the purpose of fat loss. So I confidently recommend you, from my experience, feel free to use this approach. Where you have performance goals, have some milestones which you want to achieve in the next half year, 1 year. And this way you can also achieve your desired dream physique as a bonus side effect. First of all, what is an aesthetic body? This is a sensitive topic. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's okay. Why not? Who decides it? Ultimately, at the end, no one is completely right or completely wrong. The idea of an aesthetic body will be different for a guy or girl in their 20s, also depending if he's an amateur athlete or a bodybuilder, and will be also different for someone in their 50s, 60s who just want to feel youthful and maintain a good shape or improve a little bit. For some people, the huge, ripped Mr. Olympia size body is the aesthetic, and for other group of people, something more in the middle, moderately muscular but low body fat percentage athletic body is the ideal. For sure, for many people around the world, it's already attractive and aesthetic if someone has a good posture and has some muscles, wide shoulders and some butt muscles, and don't have significant fat pads here and there. And for sure there are a group of people who are not necessarily into low body fat percentage, and seeing a lean muscular physique, they enjoy when they can grab something on someone. And of course, these were just a few examples. There are much more opinions to describe the aesthetic body. So first of all, you need to be clear what does this aesthetic body means for you. And after, it's more easy to choose the right methods and equipment to reach it. How about you? What does the aesthetic body means for you? Feel free to comment below under the video. If you want to hear my opinion, for me the aesthetic body means something in the middle, having some muscles and with a relatively low body fat, with visible abs, especially for men, having wide, strong shoulders and chest, and also strong back muscles in a good proportion. And for me it's important to not have this chicken leg syndrome, when somebody has a pumped muscular upper body standing on a narrow sticks or chicken legs. So it's important to develop also some thigh and glute muscles and also the calves. In my opinion, it's important, especially for men, to develop and experience once in their life this strong and aesthetic body, and later on just to maintain it at least. For women, I think it could be more relaxed and not necessarily the big muscles and the visible six-packs, abs, which is attractive. She can be highly attractive also without them. Of course, if a woman enjoys a sporty lifestyle and building her body, and that makes her more confident and more satisfied and balanced in her mind, then usually a good point and makes her a good vibe. And don't forget that the aesthetic body, the external, is just one feature, characteristic of a person. The inner, the personality is at least or even more important than the looks. I know this sounds as a cliche, but everyone knows that it has many truths in it. So I recommend to working out for both simultaneously. Okay, and which methods leads to an aesthetic body? This section will cover the nutrition, supplements, other lifestyle habits, and of course the training methods, exercises, which significantly influence the body composition. The best way, in my opinion, to reach an aesthetic body and maintain it in the long run is doing resistance training. It means lifting weights or working out with your own body weight. You can do it at home in the outdoor fitness calisthenics park, or you can go in the gym. So the resistance training is the best method because it has a great hormonal effect on the body, which can lead to building muscle and also losing fat in the same time if you do it in the right way. Prioritize the so-called compound exercises, these multi-joint exercises which target multiple muscle groups in the same time. The basic compound exercises are the squats, deadlifts, lunges, various pressing movements or pulling movements like overhead press, bench press, push-ups, pike push-ups, rowing or pull-ups for the back. These are all great exercises and you can improve in them for many years. So this should give the base of your workout. The compound exercises build a balanced strength and musculature, so you can call it as functional for everyday life and many other sport performance. A bit later I will talk about in more details which exercise targets which muscle group. And let's continue with the other important training methods which can drastically improve your body composition and also your general well-being and coordination. It's the sprint running, and similarly I would include here the sprint interval methods or doing high intensity interval trainings with running or other kind of movements. Sprint is a basic natural movement that we should practice regularly. Also for an aesthetic body, for a good body composition, it's recommended to do it 1-2 times in a week. And it can be a short session, only 15, 20, maximum 30 minutes in total. Sprint is a short, few seconds exercise. It doesn't burn a lot of calories on the spot, but it has a super after workout hormonal effect. You can do, for example, 8-10 times 30-40 meter sprints with long rest intervals. Or you can do 5-6 times 60 meter, 100 meter sprints above your 90% intensity. One way of doing sprints is having super long rest intervals between the sets. Then you can develop more your speed and athletic speed performance. Or you can change this method a little bit and having shorter rest periods. Then you can have a sprint interval and high intensity interval trainings. Okay, and then let's talk a little bit about the cardio endurance type of trainings, which are longer in duration or distance and lower in the intensity. These are very popular methods to lose fat or starting exercising. But when it comes to an aesthetic body and reaching good body composition, this is not the best method. The before mentioned strength training and sprint running sessions are much more effective. One main reason is that with a low intensity jogging, running or other type of sports, you use dominantly your slow twitch muscle fibers instead of the fast twitch muscle fibers like in resistance training or in the sprints. And these slow muscle fibers are not famous about getting pumped and big, so they are very efficient to complete everyday tasks or long duration activities, but they are not made for building big and spectacular muscles. And don't worry, the cardio endurance type of workouts are not necessarily bad. In fact, they are one of the best methods to maintain and develop the cardiovascular health, which is super important for longevity. I made a video before focusing on this type of training. You can find it here on my channel. Okay, let's talk about the exercises now. Which exercise targets which body part? If you want to have strong and visible glutes and thighs, then you have to do squats and deadlifts and lunges. Or if you are more advanced athlete, you can also include the Olympic weightlifting exercises. When it comes to shoulders and chest, the best exercises are the pressing movements, like the overhead press or pike push-up with the body weight, or bench press, normal regular push-up, dips. They are all great for targeting the chest and the shoulders. And if you want to have bigger and rounded shoulders like a coconut, you should also include some kind of lateral raises with dumbbells or the pulley machine or resistance bands. And when it comes to upper body strength and physique, it's also important the big family of the pulling movements like the rowing exercises and the pull-ups. And the next and important body part for an aesthetic body is the arms. You can reach a good development in the arms, both in the biceps and the triceps, only with the before mentioned compound exercises with pressing and pulling exercises. On top of that, additionally, in a good bodybuilding program, it should consist some kind of arm exercises. So feel free to do various biceps curls and triceps extensions. At the end, let's talk about probably the most popular body part for the aesthetic body chasing people. It's the abs. Believe it or not, the most effective strengthening exercises are the before mentioned compound exercises, because in these exercises you are working with a huge resistance, big weights, or even with your body weight in some cases. And in these exercises you want to maintain the neutral spine position, and in order to maintain this neutral spine, your abdominal muscles and other core muscles are working very hard. So again, the compound exercises should give the base for the ab muscles, but of course you can do extra work for this. In my opinion, the best are the various exercises on the ground, like hollow body hold. It can be also static and dynamic, or the various plank positions, or the hanging knee raise or leg raise are fantastic abdominal exercises. And other amazing ab exercise is the various techniques of carrying a heavy loads from the strongman competitions. For example, you can carry a heavy dumbbell or kettlebell in one arm, in your shoulders, in your back, in various positions, and in these exercises your spine also want to stay relatively neutral, so the abdominal muscles are working very hard to achieve this. And one important side note, if you have some muscle imbalances and asymmetries or scoliosis, it's better to practice for a few months at least from the compound exercises, more the unilateral versions, means single arm or single leg movements, and this way you can get back a little bit more into the balanced state, the musculature. And it's also highly recommended to focus more on the abs and the trunk core development in this case. Okay, let's continue with a few practical tips for an effective workout or training in the long run. It's important to ensure the graduality in each training session or in the long run. Also design your training sessions in a way of progressive overload, means each time try to increase a little bit the volume or the intensity of the exercises or the complexity. And also think in cycles, like 4, 6, 10, 12 weeks in one cycle, and after have a rest or deload week. When it comes to a particular exercise, always try to execute with a nice, good, demanding technique. Learn the correct techniques of the exercises and avoid this rushing, pumping, keeping movements. In most cases, the best way to execute the exercise is in the full range of the movement. Of course, it depends on each exercise and training goals. Also pay attention to the work to rest ratio. The muscles are growing not at the workout session, but later in the rest period. A few words how to schedule and program your workouts. I can't give you now a perfect training plan because I don't know you from the other side of the screen. But in general, if you have 1 to 3 times for training in a week, then it's recommended to do a full body training session each time. If you have more, 4, 5, 6 times in a week, then it's better to split to body parts or movement patterns. One training session should last from 40 minutes to 60 minutes and 10-15 minutes warm-up extra. About the reps and sets, if you want to build muscle, it's recommended to stay in this 6 to 12 rep range, or some cases even to 20 repetition from one exercise in one set. This is the best trigger for the muscles to grow. And also as a beginner amateur athlete, it's good to teach your body and nervous system how to execute the exercises more efficiently and safe way to gradually strengthen your joints and ligaments as well. And if you want to build more strength, then it's better to to lower repetitions, 1 to 5, but with higher intensity and longer rest intervals. But for most people in the first 1-2 years, it's usually ideal if they stick to these higher rep ranges and build some muscle first, and then later on you can do specialized strength training cycles. Okay, let's talk about other factors which influence the good body composition and aesthetic body without training. In this section I will talk about the nutrition, supplements, lifestyle and the mindset. Let's start with the mindset first. Building an aesthetic body is like a marathon, so prepare for a long journey, but it can be very enjoyable. So regularly showing up in the training session, being consistent and long-term thinking are essential in this game. If you have some performance goals or milestones which you want to achieve in the next 6 months, 1-2 years, then they can help you a lot to stay motivated and show up each time. Believe it or not, you can also reach a healthy, good-looking and lean body without doing any training if you pay attention to the sleep and the so-called circadian rhythm. Our body is designed to have a daytime active period and also a resting, passive recovery period in the night, in the dark. The proper daytime and night cycle affects highly the hormone levels, and the hormone levels are affecting highly the body composition. What can you do to make sure your circadian rhythm, your body clock is working properly? The main signal for the circadian rhythm is the natural sunlight and the darkness in the evening. So make sure you get some strong sunlight after waking up, preferably before sunrise, around the sunrise. Also go outside at least for a few minutes in the morning, and later in the day watch the sunset. And in the night after sunset, try to minimize the artificial lights and screen time, or use this blue light filtering softwares or glasses. Here I show you a picture with many famous biomolecules in our body. You can see they all have these aromatic rings or double chemical bonds. If you look at it with the lenses of as a chemist, then these double bonds and aromatic rings, they can absorb and emit different frequencies of light or electromagnetic waves, if you like this word better, or hormones are communicating this way. So this is an amazing natural wireless communication. I'll show you now another picture. One picture can say more than 1,000 words. Here we can see Australian Aboriginal people, 3 generations, the grandpa, the dad and the young warrior. Looks like they all have an aesthetic body. What do you think? How do they do it? Feel free to comment below. In my opinion, one strong reason is that they are all day outside in the natural light environment, and they have darkness in the night without the phone and computer screens and artificial light, so they have a super deep sleep. So their hormone levels are probably optimal. They don't go in the gym and lifting weights, but they do many various natural movements, and they follow a hunter-gatherer, fisher lifestyle, and they eat this kind of foods. So these guys can give us a lot of thoughts and lessons to think about. Okay, so we arrived to the nutrition. It's a huge topic. Just shortly, if you are interested, I was writing many articles and books about this topic, or also made a few YouTube videos here on the channel. In order to build an aesthetic body, follow a kind of healthy diet. It don't have to be perfect. Make sure you bring in enough building blocks as proteins. Make sure you have enough energy in the form of carbohydrates and fats, and also catalysts like vitamins and minerals. Few words about the protein. In general, it's recommended to eat around 1.5 to 2 grams per body weight kilograms per day of protein. It means for a 60 kilogram woman, for example, can be 90 to 120 grams per day. For an 80 kilogram man, it can be 120, 160 gram protein per day. I know for many people it sounds horrible and impossible mission to eat so much protein. For other people it's an easy job to eat a lot of eggs and steaks. If this sounds too much, then it comes in handy if you consume 1-2 times in a day these protein shakes. And with each scoop you can get 20, 25, sometimes even 30 grams of extra protein. Many scientific studies and empirical experience shows that this amount of protein is important to build muscle, but also to lose fat without losing muscle. In general, try to eat 3-4 meals in a day, and each of them should consist at least 20-30 grams of protein. And about the fats and carbs, it always depends on your activity level and geographical location and the season where you are. The good news is if you have a proper circadian rhythm, your brain will know how much energy you should consume, and it will not build extra fat layers when it's not necessary. There is one more nutritional approach. If you can be more strict, it's called intermittent fasting, when you eat in a 4 to 6 hours window in a day, all your meals, and the other 16-20 hours in the day is going without food. You can only drink some water and coffee, if you like. I would call this a more advanced method, and it's also important to have a good, well-functioning circadian rhythm first. Otherwise it can be more stress to the body, this fasting, starving period. This method is not the best to build muscle. It's usually better to have consistent meals during the day to build the biggest amount of muscle in the shortest period of time. But this method can work if you want to build a okayish amount of muscle and at the same time losing significant amount of fat. Okay, a few words about the supplements. Their name already has their role and meaning, so they should only supplement a proper diet if necessary. In my opinion and experience, they are not as important as some people think. Make sure you have a good, healthy circadian rhythm, sleep, healthy, balanced diet with nutrient-dense foods, sources. You have a well-designed smart training plan, good training effect, and good work to rest ratio. Then after we can talk about the supplements. But if you enjoy taking some pills or powders, then before mentioned protein powder can be very useful for building an aesthetic body, or you can supplement with some vitamins and minerals, especially magnesium, zinc. From the minerals, if you feel or think your diet is lacking these nutrients. And one more common and well-researched supplement is the creatine, which can help develop muscle. Few words about drugs, PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, or steroids, which are very popular, unfortunately. Of course, you can build muscle and lose fat faster with them, but they can also have many side effects. So better to let these substances to the professional bodybuilders. The general population, 99.9% of the people can achieve their dream physique and sporting goals without them. In this part I will talk briefly about my training routine and lifestyle habits, which helped me to achieve this physique what I have right now. I pay attention to the previously mentioned circadian rhythm, sleep, healthy nutrition, and I don't even do it in 100% fanatical way, let's say 90%, and it still works. About the supplements, I take almost nothing, zero, except the whey protein and some vitamin C here and there. I try to eat more nutrient-dense food sources. When it comes to my training routine, of course it's changing from time to time. I can say in the last 1 year I was doing 4 times in a week resistance training. I used a split of upper body, lower body training two times during the week. These sessions were lasting 40 to 60 minutes and 10-15 minutes warm-up. I was also doing once in a week a short sprint session in 15 to 20-25 minutes. And once in a week, usually on Saturdays, I was going for a longer run, which was a 30-40 minutes interval running in a low to moderate, sometimes higher intensity, targeting more the endurance. Next to these workouts, I also do some improvisative and light intensity workouts, mini workouts, movement snacks, and daily walking 20-30 minutes or longer sometimes. That's it in short. This you can also use as an example and adapt to your unique body and lifestyle. Okay, we are almost at the end of today's video. We covered a lot of topics. Quick summary. At the end, the aesthetic body depends on your opinion. How does it look like for you? The methods to reach the dream physique are usually very common. You just need to adapt them to your level and goals. Probably the best method to reach your dream physique when you regularly practice some kind of resistance training. Even one session in a week is better than nothing. Prioritize the compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, pushing and pulling exercises. And of course you can also include on top of that some isolation and accessory exercises. And next to the resistance training, I highly recommend to practice every week some kind of sprint interval or high intensity interval training. They also have great hormonal effect on your body composition. And to have a well-rounded generalist fitness, include also some kind of endurance exercise. Pay attention to your flexibility, movement skills, coordination, and you can also practice every day some few minutes of light movement snacks. A few important training principles like the gradualness, progressive overload, work to rest ratio, and thinking in training cycles like 4 to 12 weeks, and execute your exercises with nice demanding technique. And if you set up some realistic performance goals, then it can keep you motivated. And next to the trainings, your lifestyle is also affecting your body composition. You have a right mindset, attitude, be persistent, consistent, and show up regularly on the trainings. And in general, you don't have to be 100% perfectionist in the diet or in the training. Just have a good, strong determination and direction. Pay attention to your sleep, circadian rhythm. They affect highly your hormone levels. About the nutrition, consume mostly natural and nutrient-dense ingredients. Minimize the refined, processed junk foods. Have sufficient protein and energy intake in form of fats and carbohydrates. And if necessary, you can take some supplements. Wish you a good work and let's go! Thanks for being here today. I hope this video was inspiring you to reach your desired dream physique, aesthetic body. I hope it made also more clarity in this topic, and now you know better which are the simplest and most effective methods. And in the long run, I hope it won't be a seasonal beachbody project each year, but a lifelong journey, a longer lifestyle. For more tips about training, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, You can check out my blog. I wrote many articles. I made YouTube videos here. I was also writing a few books about these topics. Or if you want to progress faster and save years of reading, researching, trial and error, self-experimenting, then contact me for an online consultation for your customized training program, or let's work together on your goals for a few months as online coaching. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, comment below if you have extra ideas, and see you in the next one. Keep moving and stay strong.